Hey guys, and welcome back to G's Autos. Thank you so much for tuning in. Well, at the moment, my partner and I just had our old garage, used to be a single car garage, split into 2 rooms as we build a new playroom for the boys, which is going to be very exciting. So at the moment, I need a little bit of extra storage space for all my car parts and bits and pieces. So I picked up a Keter XL Garage, which is basically a large storage cabinet with shelving. And so in this video, I'm just going to work through the assembly from start to finish and give my review as I go along and my final feedback at the very end of the video. So anyway guys, I hope you like the video. If you're enjoying this kind of content or the channel in general, please give the video a big like and please consider subscribing to the channel. That would be greatly appreciated. Anyway guys, enough out of me. I hope you like the video and I'll see you on the next one. Alright, so here is the box that it comes in. The dimensions are on the screen, including the carton weight. So it is a fairly weighty box. And so what we're going to do is open the box up now, bring out all the contents, and we'll start putting this together. Alright, as you can see inside the box, around the contents, there is absolutely zero protection for the contents. Considering this is plastic, that's pretty substandard as far as I'm concerned. Now that's the second one that's turned up here with broken plastics in these corners. So this one's not as bad as the last one, but yeah, a little bit more effort should be considered when packing contents and sending out to customers. Alright, everything has been removed from the carton and everything is clearly labelled so you know which bits are which. So I've just grouped them all together as per their part number, and all the bits and pieces here, all your smaller bits, I've got up here on the bench, and the instructions. So we'll just take a quick look at the instructions. Okay, so here are the instructions. You get a nice big booklet. It's easy to read, easy to follow, nice line drawings all the way through. So what we're going to do now is just start putting this sucker together piece by piece. Now what I want to do first is, if I just go over here, you'll see the blue plastic that's wrapped around these aluminium pieces. So I'm going to show you how to remove that, that blue plastic. Okay, now most of the time this blue film will peel off nice and easy. However, in some sections it's stuck under the lip. So you're just going to have to persevere. It just depends on how picky you are with wanting to remove every skerrick of the blue film. Alright, I've just moved this into a better room with more lighting, so this will be much better. Alright, so this piece here is the XBT, this base piece here. And then up here I've got some XD pieces, one there, XS on this side, XD there, and XS there. Now these little clips, you'll see the little bit there, the little clip, those overhangs go towards the middle of the short side. So that's where we're at the moment, and we'll start putting this together. Okay, so this piece here is an XFD, and then the other one on this side is an XFS. So you'll see these little locator tabs. They just go in like that. And the same on the other side, same story, locator tab goes in, bang, that's in. And then these little screw-in adjuster feet. Just screw them down, and same with the other side, just repeat the process. Alright, now just repeat the process for these 2 corners. This one is an XFS, this one is an XFD, and then just put your little thread in your little levelers there. Alright, what we're going to do now is fit that piece there and that piece there. These pieces are XFC. So there's already little locator lines on this base piece of plastic to show you exactly where they sit. And then these screws here are your Y2 screws. So I'm not too sure if you can see in there, but the holes are sunken into there. So I'm just going to use a screwdriver and just put those in now. Alright, now that you've anchored these down and you've got them nice and snug, make sure you've got the right head screwdriver. It's a Phillips head, but just make sure that the Phillips head, the size that you use, fits nice and snug. It's going to make it so much easier to screw those in to anchor them. Alright, so all we're going to do now is repeat the process for these 4 corners. Do the same thing, because down inside there, hopefully you can see it. See the pre-drilled screw hole. 1 screw each corner, and we'll get these anchored. Alright, so I've gone through, all 4 corners have been anchored. Look, these aren't, don't expect, anything, super strong about this, but it's enough to do the job. So we'll flip it over now and we'll get on to the next bit. Alright, so I've flipped this over, and as you can see, all our locating tabs are now facing up. So what we want to do now is attach the back wall. So to do that, we need 2 XB pieces. So I'll grab those now and we'll put them on. Alright, the next step is to put in the rear panels. Now these 2 pieces here are XB. Alright, now what you'll see on here, along the mating surface, one edge is recessed and the other one has an overhang. Okay, and then it's vice versa on the bottom of that panel. Okay, so just keep in mind too that these locating tabs, they're actually shaped a specific way, so just make sure you mate everything up properly. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Alright, I moved this down onto the floor to give myself enough room height-wise. I ran out of room working on top of that bench. Alright, so what we're going to do now is put the sides on. Now these are XPL pieces, okay? So what you'll see, these little tabs on here, and they'll run into those grooves, if you can see that clearly on there. And they just slide down from the top, and they'll lock onto those grooves and slide down and then lock into place on those locator tabs. So we'll do that bit now. Alright guys, now that you've put these 2 side pieces in, okay, these pieces, these big sideboards, these pieces here, XPGL, and another XPGL. Now when you're sliding these in, these little tabs here, they face out towards the front. Okay, same on that side. Now, what you want to do is make sure that you're following your curves. So square edge to square edge, and then rounded edge to rounded edge. And just make sure that these tabs are to the front, because those tabs are not on the rear section. Alright, so I'm just going to push these down into position now, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright guys, these 2 pieces here, that's an XGB and that's an XGB. So basically these 2 connect like so, locking into there, and then we'll run that and lock that into this back section along here. So we'll go and do that now. Okay, when you slot these XGB pieces in, you'll see that there's little notches that slip into place. So just keep that in mind. And I think it's the same for over this side as well. There's one there and one over in that corner as well. Alright, so it's starting to take shape. Let's move on to the next step. Alright, so I've just raced ahead and completed the next step, which is repeat the process as before. So XB piece, slide them down into the locators. Alright, then we'll move on to the next step. Alright guys, same as before, wash, rinse, repeat. The 2 side pieces, same process as before. It's coming together. Alright guys, same process as before that we did for the base. we're going to do for the top. Your XCS pieces and your XCD pieces, put them into their corners, and we'll do that. Okay, after you put all your corner pieces in, it's time to sit it on top of the cabinet. Now just make sure you line everything up properly before you push it down. These little tabs will slot into place. Just make sure these are lined up properly so they go in nice and easy. And then I'll take care of the top section. Alright guys, after you put the roof on, just come around the back section and just make sure all your little tabs are lined up. They're all in place, just to make sure it's all nice and snug and secure. Thanks, buddy. Alright, so to finish off the top, we just got these little caps that cover these holes. So, one for each corner. I'll pop those on now. Now, just getting back, that's that blue clear film. And, yeah, look, it is what it is. If you want to get in there and pick out every last little bit, you can, but it's an absolute pain. But anyway, all good. Alright guys, so we're moving on to the doors of the cabinet. Now this is where the drawing is incorrect. The drawing is wrong. Alrighty, so I'm going to run you through how to set up these doors. Okay, so let's take a look at the first bit and then we'll work our way through it. Alright, so we've got the top section of the doors. Now these are a DSU4, okay? All completely identical. Okay, now these are the caps that run along the top of the door. They will sit in like so, okay? Now these parts here, that is an XCDD, XCLD. Okay, so they'll sit along the top. Sorry. Now, these are the parts that lock into place, and these are for your hinges. Okay, so that's a D1. That's a D2. So I'm going to slide those up into place on both ends, and then pop them in the top here. So we'll do that now. Alright, now because the doors are in 4 parts, 2 tops, and repeat process, 2 bottoms, this is the piece that joins the top 2 to the bottom 2. Each side will have one of these, okay? Now, as I said, the drawing is wrong. So I'll slide these pieces out, and we'll go through the part numbers. Alright, so this part here is an XGD. Okay, now this top part here is a D3, and this one here is a D4. So I'll slide them up into place, that one down into place, and then we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so I've got another XGD. Now these parts here are a D4 and a D3. I'm just going to slide them up into position, down into position, and then we'll put them into the door, just like I did this one here already. Okay guys, so I've gone through and capped the bottom of the door there. So this door is all done. So what I've gone through and done now is you had these little caps. They just sit over where your hinges get screwed into. So I've just pressed them in and popped them out with a small knife. So there's one there, and another one all the way at the top. So what I'm going to do now is go through and just screw the hinges onto this door. Alright, I'm going to go through and start preparing these hinges. So that's the hinge there. So set it up like that. Okay, now there is a channel there. Now that channel sits into this piece here. Now this is the B6. Okay, so as you can see where that channel is, that will just slide up into place, and then you end up with that piece there. So I'm going to go through and do those now. Alright, so I've gone through and I've popped the hinges into their slots and I've screwed them in. So they're all in place now. So what I can do is just come down here and I'll just get these hinges. I'll flip them over like so. I'll just screw it up here to the top one. Now what happens is these just go into notches that are already set in place. Obviously there's 4 of those. So we'll get this door into place. Alright, the second door is on. Now just to run you through, now these screw types that are in here, your bigger Y2s are used on here. Whoop, where am I? The bigger Y2s are there, and 2 Y1s are there to hold the hinges to the door. So it lined up pretty good. It goes in nice and easy. It's pretty easy to hang the door. I don't think you have any issues there. Alright guys, let's move on to the next step. Alright, so I've got the door handles assembled, ready to go onto the doors. So the door handle pieces all individually just slide into each other. Very, very simple. And then I have 4 Y2 screws remaining, which I'll use to attach the door handles to the doors. Alright guys, just a quick tip. When you are putting the screws through the door for the handle, just make sure you screw into the correct hole. You can see I started to screw through that one. And as a result, I had just started putting it through the door. No biggie, I'm not too worried about it, so just keep that in mind. That's how the door handles look. Now we're going to put the shelves together. Okay, so here are the shelves. Now the shelves do have a little locking mechanism. Okay, now you do get some extra tabs. Now they just clip on the outside. Nice and easy, nothing really there to explain. And then they're unlocked when they're pushed towards the center of the shelf. And then when you want to lock them into place, you just push them out. Okay, now inside the cupboard itself, sorry about the light guys, the little tabs there up the back, little slots I should say. Now when you put these in, so oops, upside down, don't hang them in the top ones. You put them through the bottom ones and then I'll sit flat and that helps hold the shelf up. So we put one shelf in already. That's how that looks. And we'll put the remaining 2 shelves in. Ladies and gentlemen, there is the shelf finished. Cupboard. Thank you. There we have a one complete cupboard. Thanks, boss. Alright, now this is a cupboard that is not going to win a beauty contest. Okay, it's just not. It is fairly flimsy in its construction, yet apparently it holds a lot of weight per shelf. Now these doors are flimsy as. So like I said, don't expect something beautiful and strong. That it's not, but apparently the shelves are nice and strong. So that is final construction. And once again, it's a shame about all this blue plastic on the aluminium pieces. Sorry about the grainy video, guys. Just a lack of light in here. But yeah, look, it's pretty simple to put together. Like I said, you're not going to have the best fitment and all the rest of it. It is what it is, guys. So if you just need something that's going to hold a fair bit of weight and put it out in your garage or shed or patio, this will do the job. And if you're not worried too much about looks, then it will do the job. Anyway, guys, there you go. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed this review and this how-to, please give it a big thumbs up. And feel free to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Alright guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you on the next one.